Previous session we discussed about how to connect a ESXi host through by using VC client, how to download VC client from the VMware portal, what is a web client, how to access, how to differentiate different options between web client and VC client. So this session we are going to talk about the configuration, how to perform configuration on a ESXi host by using VC client, vSphere client. So we are going to connect the ESXi host by using VC client and navigate the options. What are the options are available under configuration tab. Just open VC client. Connect to that EC client, the IP address, server IP address 192.168.222.20. Okay, it's evaluation expiry notice. Click OK. As we are working on evaluation version, we explore all the options. What are the different tabs are available about ESXi host. So today we are going to talk about the configuration tab. So under configuration tab, what are the options are available? You can see here there is two options are available in under configuration tab. One is hardware tab and other one is software components. A little come down a slide bar. Yes. Here two options are available, hardware and software. So first we are going to discuss about what are the hardware component is all about. Move little up. Yes, that's it. Under hardware status, hardware tab, what are the options are available? First option is health status. Move the cursor in the respective position. Health status. So health status is going to give what are the components are available. Expand this that ESXi host. The processor, sensor, software sensors, what are the components are available, everything it is going to display, how many processors, what is the status of each component. Is there any issue with the respective hardware component, it is going to display over here. Okay, just it is showing the status. If any component is showing a critical or warning error, you need to take necessary action by reviewing the screen. The next one is processors. Or how many processor, individual processor, what is the processor capacity, what is the how many CPUs, what is the model, everything information is available. So what type of processor, what is the sockets, how many cores, what is the model, what is the manufacturer, and every details available here. So next one is memory. What is the memory size, what is the system allocation, what is the virtual machines availability memory, all those information available under this memory. The next one is storage. This is an important point in the configuration tab. What we are going to do most of the time in administration, we are going to work on storage, networking, storage adapters, and network adapters. These four components, we need to explore more how it is going to work, what are the things we are going to do by using these concepts. Little come down. So Under the storage, what is the storage? What are the devices? If you go, if you see here under storage, there are two tabs are available. One is data store tab, one is devices. If you see two tabs under storage, there are two tabs available. One is data store, the other one is click OK, accept. One is data store. This is the data store and this is devices. If you click on devices, what are the devices? Devices in the sense under storage, devices is going to come into picture. What are the physical devices are available? What are the physical devices are available? Click on devices. So under these devices, to how many for this particular virtual machine, where we created under VMware workstation we created. So one hard disk we created with the size of 2 GB. So what are the local devices are available? One CD-ROM is available. What are the disk is available? Everything it is going to display over here. So we are going to add one more hard disk to the system, and what we can do with that particular hard disk, we are going to explore how the storage is going to work, what is this options are available to perform that respective device. So what is a data store? What is a device? We are going to come back here to understand the storage. Next one is networking. Click on network. Here the network. Here the most important component to create port and port groups, virtual switch, and all those concepts are going to come over here. Under networking, what are the switches we need to create, how to create a switch, how to assign NIC cards, how to configure the parameters, everything, it is going to come over here. The switch concept, how the virtual machines are going to communicate to this outside world from this particular ESXi host. All those configuration we are going to perform here under this networking. The next one is storage adapters. What are the storage adapters available for this particular hardware? Storage adapters in instance, network storage devices. If it is a SAN devices, what is the requirement for SAN storage? One HBA card is available. As this is a virtual machine, we assign a local storage, and with the controller, it is a SCSI controller. That's the reason it is showing SCSI controller. If you select the respective device, come down little. How many devices are connected here? How many devices are connected here? See here, HBA 0, VM HBA. How many devices are connected here? There are different devices are connected. There are different devices are connected. How many paths are there? How many targets are there? We need to understand. For each selection, for each device, for each card on this particular hardware, what are the devices are available? Similar way, we are going to see by selecting this. We are going to see by selecting this, where the devices are connected. Now, we are going to see what is the adapter it is assigned. What are the devices are assigned. By seeing this, by selecting this HBA card, what is this HBA card type? It is IDE controller. What is this? IDE controller. So this IDE controller, any devices are connected? There is no devices are connected. So it is showing as a devices 0. It is not showing anything over here. No physical devices connected here. Like similar way, we are going to select the other one IDE controller, and we are going to see HBA card. Select HBA card, SCSI HBA card. So if you see here, For this SCSI controller, we know that this server is configured with one hard disk, hard disk. Where that hard disk is connected, while creating a virtual machine, we assign a hard disk to the SCSI controller, LSL as its SAS controller. That's the reason it is showing how many devices, this particular SCSI devices, it is connected. It is connected how many devices? Devices 1. How many paths? Paths in the sense, how many paths are available to establish communication to that particular hard disk. We connected SCSI controller. On that SCSI controller, only one path is available to establish communication to that particular hard disk. See here, what is this local hard disk? Whatever the device we connected, it is going to display over here. Local disk, whatever the disk it is connected, it is going to show you the type of the disk. If it is a HBA card, it is going to say as fiber attached storage, fiber channel storage. In an enterprise environment, whatever the devices are going to connect, what are the adapters are going to use, that adapter, HBA adapter, it is going to show type of the adapter also. Here it is showing we are using local SCSI adapter. That's the reason it is showing local SCSI adapter. If you are going to use HBA adapter, it is going to display over here the HBA card. So this is the storage adapters. Whatever the devices are connected before working on storage and data store and devices, we need to make sure what is the adapter is in use for this particular server. This is storage adapter. Next one is network adapters. So under this network adapters, again, under this network adapters, what are the options are available? What are the how many NIC cards are available? Whatever the network cards are available, it is going to display with the name of respective number. As we are assigned only one NIC, it is going to show as VM NIC 0. What is that MAC address of that particular NIC card? Is it connected or not? What is the speed? 1000 Mbps, 1 kbps. The speed is, what is the speed of this network card? What is the configured, negotiable? What is the switch it is connected? We are going to see how to create a switch and all those things. That in the sense, under network adapters, it is going to show what are the physical NICs are available for this particular ESXi host. So the each NIC card, it is going to display the MAC address and is it connected or not? What is the duplex speed? What is the bandwidth of the network card? What is the switch it is connected to assign to that particular switch? All those information it is going to provide here under network adapters. This is a 4 components what we are going to work mostly in a VMware administration. One is storage, networking, storage adapters, and network adapters. So next is advanced settings. Generally, we are not going to touch advanced settings here. This is advanced setting is all related to hardware configuration parameters. Generally, there is no requirement to perform any action under this particular advanced settings, which is available under hardware. There are 2 options are available, 2 advanced settings are available. One is hardware tab. Under hardware tab, it is going to available advanced settings. Here we are going to see here hardware. Under hardware, there is one advanced settings here. So under advanced settings, Nothing to configure as part of administration. This advanced settings is all talks about, it is all configuration parameters about hardware components related. We are not going to perform any action in this particular advanced settings. There is one more advanced settings under software. We are going to see what is advanced setting under software. Okay, next, power management. Power management, generally we are going to configure under power management. What we are going to do, we are going to configure the performance, how the power management is going to work. Balanced, it is balanced, is the configuration is balanced is there. This balanced configuration we can refresh and we can change the properties by selecting this power management. To change this balanced option, we have to click on here the power properties. Click on properties and see what is the option. It is going to come over here so that we can see what is the option. Click on properties, see here. High performance. By default, we are going to configure as soon as deploying configuration, we are going to use this high performance selection. By selecting this high performance, that in the sense, what is the ESXi host we are going to use? We are going to use as a high performance. Sometimes it is recommended for according to the requirements. So as per KB article, if any performance issue or any host issue or any function is not working as per expected, then the power management should be changed to high performance. By default, whenever you are going to deploy the ESXi host, and before adding to the production environment, we are going to perform certain task configuration before adding to the production. So what are the configuration? This is a default configuration. Balanced is a default configuration. So we are going to change as part of build process. We are going to change from balanced to high performance. So we are going to select this checkbox and click OK. The next one is software. Under software, click on license features. This is currently it is an evaluation period. Whenever you complete the ESXi host installation, the most important thing, first we configure license. We need to assign a license key for this particular ESXi host. As part of the build process, we are going to assign a license key for this particular ESXi host. So click on edit. At the end of the license features, click on edit. On the top corner, click on edit. So by selecting this edit option, we are going to assign a license key. Whatever the license we have, we need to enter the license key under this particular configuration, licensing feature. What is the current license assignment? We can come over here and understand what is the license assigned for this particular ESXi host. Currently it is on evaluation period. So if we have a license key, simply selecting assigning a new license to this host. Select that assign a new license. So once we enter the license key, it is going to prompt you respect to version or edition according to license. As we don't have license key, we are not going to do any action here. Click cancel. This is first option under software configuration. Configuration. If you go to the how to assign a license, how to assign a license to a open web browser. Open to web browser. How to assign a license for ESXi host. How to assign a license. not through. License to ESXi host. Okay. See, this is a KB article. If you see the respective KB article, whatever the whatever the issue you are going to face, mention that issue in the Google search internet so that you are going to get a KB article. Just highlight the kb.vmware.com. Whatever it is a recommended approach, whatever the action you are going to do, you need to configure this particular option. So here in this kp.vmware.com, you are going to have complete information of this in whatever the action you are going to perform, like in VC client, how to perform, in web client, how to perform. Click on this particular article. For every issue, whatever the issue you go, just recommended approach is to go through kb.vmware.com. For every issue, there is an article available, knowledge base article available. You need to go through that. Got it? Click on got it. Come down. See, to download the certificate ESXi host, activate ESXi host, how to perform. Come down, little come down. See here, log into my VMware, how to get the license. Once license is available, how to assign a license in a hypervisor to host. Come down. See here, log into the ESXi hosting using vSphere client. Click on configuration tab, highlight that information. What we did here, whatever the action you are going to do. See here, the first one, log on to ESXi hosting using vSphere client. We connected that ESXi host. Click on configuration tab. We click on configuration tab. Click on license feature under software. So whatever the action, even if you forget what to do, what action to perform, it is clear step available here. So how to perform each action through VC client, go little up, go little down, down, down. Yeah, stop here. See here, for each configuration, as we are learning the options, how to configure, how to perform an action under vSphere client. The same steps are different in web client. The web client options also it is going to display over here. The same concept, how to perform an action under VC client. So we are going to learn the concept under VC client, how to connect vSphere client, the steps, how to where to click on configuration there. But the same feature, it is different interface and web client. We are not sure how to connect in web client, how to where to go, how. So here it is going to available clear configuration steps. See here, to license under vSphere web client, to license next step. Same, but configuration different. Performing the action is only one, but it is going to different way of going. See here, in VC client, we are going to click on configuration tab. Here, log into the ESXi hosting using your credentials. Click administrator, administration, licensing, licenses, add license keys. The tabs and navigation is different than compared to vSphere client. So even if you forget, if you are not sure where to do, what to do on a web client, for each KB article, for whatever the issue you are going to face, whatever the configuration you are going to change, for each KB article, it is going to provide clear information on how to perform on vSphere client, how to perform on web client. For each and every action, no need to worry where to go and how to perform. KB articles are available, kb.vmware.com. Better recommended approach is you need to refer only VMware KB articles only. By recommended approach. For example, there are different vendors, different engineers, and different experts are going to provide the options how to configure, how to perform actions. They, according to their expertise and their experience, they are going to provide the information. You can follow; it is not going to harm. But the thing is that if any issue come into picture after configuring that, you are going to contact VMware support request. While contacting VMware support request vendor, VMware support vendor, they are going to ask you, how did you perform the action? Then if you say that I followed this article, third-party article, then they will say that that is not a recommended approach. You should not perform. You have to refer only VMware KB article. If you followed VMware KB article and support engineer is going to perform the action. If you follow third-party actions, support request may deny. The VMware vendor support request may deny your request because you perform third-party action that is not advised, that is not recommended approach. That is the reason whenever you performing any troubleshooting option, it is always recommended to follow only VMware KB knowledge base articles. Okay, go back to this VC client. So by this, you should understand how to perform easily, even if you are not sure where to go VC client, how to go in web client, complete information available. In our lab, in our sessions, we are going to, most of the time, we are going to discuss about in VC client. It's our responsibility to check where that option is available in web client. If you are not sure on web client, this is a simple procedure. Go to search internet, same configuration. What are the feature you are able to see here, where that feature available in web client. That is your responsibility, your practice. Okay, next, time. Click on time configuration under software, time configuration. These are all the steps after the installation we are going to perform. What are the options, what are the configuration we need to perform, everything we are going to see here. So, date and time. Currently it is in stop state. We need to make sure the ESXi host is able to connect our environment. What are the environment we are going to work? That same environment is going to work a DNS server. DNS, what are the DNS servers are available? What is the time server available? For each environment, they are going to maintain a time server, NTP server. NTP server is nothing but it is maintains a time zone for the respective environment. By default, NTP server is nothing but a DNS server in most scenarios. But if the organization is going to configure separate NTP server, so we need to enter that NTP server details. How to assign that NTP server details. What is the time it is showing here? 5:40 and 2020. Now we need to sync with our Active Directory DNS server time zone. Generally, whatever the time zone is available in our environment that is integrated with the Active Directory and DNS. DNS and AD, how it is integrated, the same configuration we are going to use here in NTP server configuration. How to change this NTP server configuration? Click on properties. So we need to enter time zones. Where to enter the time zones? Click on options. So how to start the service? First option we need to change start and stop with the host. That in the sense, this particular service, this particular NTP service is going to start with the host reboot. If you start manually, whenever there is stop activity, we need to make sure we need to change this option to start and stop with host. That in the sense, whenever you restart the ESXi host, it is going to stop the service. While coming online, the NTP service client, it is going to start. That's the reason we need to make sure start and stop with the host. Next option is NTP settings. Click on NTP settings. Here, we are going to add NTP server details. Click on add. What is my environment DNS server? What is my AD server? Both AD and DNS server is one server, that is 192, 192, 168, 222.10. This is my AD and DNS server for this lab environment. That's the reason I'm entering. For your organization, what are the DNS? What is the NTP server? If you have NTP server, you need to provide that NTP server IP address here. If the NTP server is nothing but a DNS server, then you need to enter DNS server here. The server IP address, whatever the server, it is taking responsibility, providing an NTP server role, then you need to provide an address here. So in my environment, in my lab environment, my NTP server is nothing but AD and DNS server. Both AD and DNS server running on same server. That's the reason I'm entering here. For your organization, whatever the DNS, what is NTP server, you need to find out and enter the details over here. Click OK. So that's it. We are done with NTP server settings. At the bottom, restart. There is a restart NTP server, but to apply the changes, click on the checkbox below. Yes. Once we select the checkbox, that in the sense we are going to start the service once the configuration is taken into consideration. Click OK. NTP client enabled. There is one more checkbox, NTP client enabled. This client enabled is nothing but NTP, the port number. What is the port number it is going to use? We are going to see what is the ports or important ports are available in this particular software configuration. Click OK. See here, as soon as you click OK, it is started. NTP client is in running state. What is NTP server we assigned? It is a server. It is going to show what are the servers we assigned here. That is a time configuration. It is as part of build process. We are going to do under software. What are the things we are going to do? License feature and next time configuration. Next is DNS. DNS on routing. We already did this DNS on routing in DCS screen itself. In DCS screen, we assign a DNS address, we assign a host address, and all those things. If we are not sure what information we need to add, if you forget in DCS configuration, we come over here and we can change the DNS change configuration. Click on properties. We can mention host name, what is the name, what is the domain, what is the DNS server, preferred DNS, secondary DNS information we can over here. Routing, click on the top routing. This is the default gateway. Whatever the default gateway we need to assign, the default gateway you can change if you're required. If not required, we can leave it. Okay, we already did this configuration in DCUI screen. That's the reason we are not going to change any configuration here. So what is the, we can check, cross check what are the settings are available, how to change. This is a way we can change the configuration. Click cancel. As we are not changing any action, it is always recommended to click on cancel. If you click on OK, it is going to create a task event. Next, authentication services. What is that as authentication services? We need to add this particular ESXi host to domain object. If you want to create a domain object, we can add this particular server to domain object. Before adding the server to domain, we need to make sure the DNS server is configured properly. Then only we can add this particular concept into AD object. We just created a host record in DNS. This AD object is not available. If you want to create AD object, here we can add authentication. Click on properties, drop down, Active Directory, domain name lab.com. Is AD server online?
I think it got down.
Okay, no need to worry. We are not going to add this server to domain as the AD server is currently. This is a way we can add, come back to this VC client. This is a way we can add the server to the domain object. Whatever the object you are going to service, it is a part of build process. Whatever the ESXi host we are going to add to the production, we are going to add this particular ESXi host to domain. This is a process. Select the IT directory, provide the domain, and as soon as you click on join domain, it is going to prompt you the credentials for to join this object, this ESXi host object, create object in AD for certain functions. Okay, click cancel here. Next one is virtual machine startup and shutdown. What are the virtual machine startup and shutdown? How to start? For example, this option is very much useful whenever the server ESXi host is residing at a remote location. Remote location in the sense the ESXi host, only one standalone ESXi host is available and it is performing certain functions, certain virtual machines, 5 or 10 virtual machines. What is this option is going to provide you? What are the servers you are going to? For example, in my environment, there are 5 servers, one AD server, one DNS server, one DHCP server. Like these 5 servers are there. What is the criteria? Those 5 servers are residing hosted on this particular ESXi host. Due to some power fluctuation or some maintenance activity, the ESXi host initiated a shutdown and we are going to power on that ESXi host. That is available on that respective location, they are not sure how to power on the respective VMs. They just power on the ESXi host. So as soon as the ESXi host comes online, whatever the VMs are available, we can configure that VM, which VM has to come first. We can set the priority. What is the delay between two virtual machines? We are going to set the order, startup order in this particular. Click on properties. We can add what are the VMs to allow virtual machines to start automatically with the system. As soon as you click on checkbox, it is going to allow to power on. See automatic startup. If you are any automatic startup, all servers will start automatically. If any order is there, you can mention any order. If manual startup, that one particular VM no need to start, we can put that VM in manual startup. As this fresh ESXi host, no VMs are available here. That's the reason we are not in a position to add any virtual machine. This is a place wherein whatever the VMs are available under this ESXi host, I can configure. Do you want to start all servers, all VMs to start automatically, or do we need to maintain any order? We can predefine and we can set the time limit also. What is the time it has to start as soon as ESXi host installation is completed, power on is completed. This is a place we can place order or automatic startup or manual startup. Everything we can configure over here. That is what. Click cancel. Virtual machine startup and shutdown. Next one is virtual machine swap file location. By default, the swap location is a virtual machine directory. Virtual machine directory in the sense we'll see that under while creating a virtual machine, what it is going to do. Virtual machine creating a virtual machine is nothing but it is creating a virtual hardware. Okay, virtual hardware, it is going to create a folder in virtualization layer. It is going to create a files respective. If I am adding one particular NIC card, if I am adding disk, if I am adding processor, all those information is going to save in the form of files, in the form of some software code. Where these files are going to save one particular directory, it is going to create a directory. Where it is going to create a directory, we are going to see under storage options. Okay, tomorrow session. So what is a swap location? As soon as it creates a directory, swap file is nothing but it is going to create a virtual memory. Swap file is nothing but a virtual memory. In Windows, we call it as virtual memory. In Linux operating system, we call it as swap file. Swap is nothing but virtual memory. So swap is important to perform certain actions. Whatever the memory is we are going to assign to virtual machine, same amount of swap file it is going to create. While creating virtual machine, while powering on virtual machine, we'll come to see what are the files are available in virtual machine. So we can understand what is this file, what is the file name and extension, how the folder is going to create. Here this software configuration for this ESXi host, what it is going to mention here, what is the swap location for virtual machine? By default, it is virtual machine directory. It is a recommended approach. If you want to change this approach, you can change the swap file location to different location, like you can edit. You need to provide a path for this particular swap location. Okay, this is swap location. Generally, we are not going to change. It is a default option. Leave it as a virtual machine directory. If you want to change, click on edit and change the option. Whatever the data store you are going to assign, all those information we can see here. Okay. Next, click cancel. Security profile. Security profile here, most of the services, if you want to start SSH, if you want to enable port, previously while configuring NTP client, we enabled the port 123, where to check port 123. If we are not going to perform that checkbox in NTP configuration, we can come back here and set the settings. First, there are two options under security profile. One is services and the other one is firewall. You go little up. Under security profile, two components. One is services and other one is firewall. If you want to start any services, you need to click services under properties. Click on properties. What are the services if you want to start? We NTP daemon, what we did, NTP daemon, select NTP daemon. Click options. We changed the option while configuring the NTP setting. We changed the option. See here, previously it was a start manually. We changed the option to start and stop with the host. This is the way we are going to configure services. If you want to change the services, respective services, you can come over here and change the configuration. How to, we can restart the service, we can stop the service and all those things. Click cancel and select SSH. SSH in the sense I told you what is SSH. There is one more option, ESXi shell is also available. ESXi shell. What is the status of these both services? Both the services are in stop state. ESXi shell is at fourth one in the table. ESXi shell. Yes, ESXi shell we discussed while during the DCUI screen. ESXi shell is nothing but it is a command prompt execution at the console. At the console, if you want to execute any command, we need to start that service. As we are not working on command in DCUI screen, if you connect DCUI screen, definitely we can perform over there to start the service. What is SSH? SSH is nothing but a remote connectivity tool for the ESXi host. If you want to establish communication through SSH to this particular ESXi host to execute command line utilities, we need to enable SSH service. Select SSH. Currently it is in stop state. Well, how to start the service? Click on options. See here, what is the option here? Start and stop manually. We need to perform start and stop manually. If you want to change the setting to start and stop with a host, we can do that. But as per security best practices, some services should be in stop state. Whenever there is a requirement, you need to start the service manually and stop the service manually. That is a recommended approach to configure as part of compliance activity, security compliance activity. Okay, click cancel. Click OK. This is the services, what are the services you are going to see. Okay, you can come over here and start the service. Click cancel. And next one is firewall. Under firewall, click properties. This is the ports. What are the ports, important ports for the ESXi host? All ports were restored here. What is the SSH client port number? What is the SSH server? The port numbers. You should by heart these port numbers also. I told you during the session starting, what are port numbers? You need to by heart. For Windows administration, what are the default port numbers? You should remember. Similar way, what are the port numbers, important port numbers for ESXi host VMware? These are the port numbers. See, you can see if the checkbox is enabled, that in the sense that particular port can be communicated. If you are not able to connect SSH, then what is the meaning? You are not able to connect. Even if you start the service also, you are not in a position to connect. Then you need to come over here. You need to check the checkbox is that port is activated or not. Starting services is different. allowing port is different. The allowing port is allowable from this firewall properties. Okay, you can check the if any port is not able to work, if I'm not able to perform an action, even services start position, then you need to come over here and check the respective port is activated or not. So come down, come down, see what are the ports are available. These all ports are very important, very much important to perform certain actions. What is the DHCP client? Ntp client. Ntp client also available, port 123. We enabled during Ntp configuration. Check Ntp port is available or not. At the last, see Ntp server, the client is enabled. If you are not enabled during the Ntp configuration, the port, you need to come over here, you need to enable checkbox. This is a way you need to enable firewall, disable firewall, respective port. Okay, some checkboxes is without checkbox. So if it is required, we need to enable respective configuration. This is a firewall concept in security profile. What is a security profile? To start the service or to enable any port numbers, we can come over here under security profile. Click cancel. Next, host cache configuration. That is not required. We are not going to discuss over here. Later, it's the advanced configuration. No need to discuss about here. Come down. Next one is system resource card. How much resources is allocated for the CPU and available ESXi host? What is the CPU allocation? What is the memory allocation for this particular ESXi host? You can come over here and you can check. Out of 4 CPUs, it is using only 360 megahertz, and memory it is using only 1 TB of memory, 1 GB of memory. Out of 4 GB, it is using 1 GB. Okay, that's the reason it is going to show here. Come down. System resource reservation. This is default reservation. Agent VM settings. What is the agent VM settings? To trigger and alerts and all those things, we can select agent VM settings. Okay, we are not going to configure here. We'll see next. Come to advanced settings. I told you there are 2 advanced settings. One is under hardware, one is under software. This is just like a registry entry for ESXi host. Registry entry in Windows, how it is going to perform certain objects. We can change the parameters. If any function, certain function is not going to work, it is throwing in some errors. To suppress this alert, all those configurations we can perform here. If we are not sure, the KBRTL is going to provide the information, what option they'll clearly provides. Click on configuration tab, click on software, go to software section. Under software, click on advanced settings. Under advanced settings, choose user profile, anything. What are the options available? Come to user var at the last. User, yes. Here, see, some are having 1, some are having 0. Come down last, go last. The side, yes.